What's going on, everybody? This is Professor Crypto Banana. In yesterday's video, I talked about a crypto project called Wonderland. Quick recap, essentially you buy the time token, you stake it. The auto compounding rewards are ridiculous, especially for a project that's in the top 150. However, I think I found a way on how to push the rewards even further without leveraging, meaning without borrowing money and being at risk of losing it all. Whoa, essentially I'm going to be staking my staked tokens. I'm so pumped to share this with you guys, but I'm going to hit you with the disclaimer. Yeah, that's right. I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. These are just my opinions. This is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. In addition, be aware that I am not a crypto expert, so anything I say could be inaccurate, and also I could be missing out on a lot of information. So always do your own research, and everything that I talk about is extremely risky. Any money that I put in, I just assume that I lost it all. So with that being said, let's get started. So yesterday's video talked about buy the time token on Avalanche. You stake it and you get a token called MEMO, short for memories. Essentially, the longer you hold this and then you finally decide to unstake, you get more time tokens back. Wow, okay, cool. Well, you can push this a little bit further. You can go to the wizard on Abracadabra and wrap your MEMO, which is the stake token, and you can borrow against it and buy even more time tokens. It's riskier, and yeah, that's just one way on how to go, but I'm going to go the other way, which means wrap the token and send it over to Fantom. So when it's wrapped, that means that it can get sent probably to other blockchains, and it already exists on the Fantom side. Meaning, if you want to simply go to Spirit Swap and shortcut this whole process, go on Spirit Swap, get the token, make sure you get the right contract address, and you can simply buy this token. And by having wMEMO, wrap memories, on the Fantom side, it is the equivalent of being right over here on the Avalanche side, just waiting to give back the MEMO, unstake it to get more time tokens. Simple? Okay, cool. So we're just gonna go right to that, and we are now on the Fantom side. Whoa! Okay, so what's going to be the brief overview? You can take your wrapped MEMO, your wrap memories, to Grim Finance, and you get rewarded. You get a certain percentage back that auto compounds. Simple. Well, Professor, what's the big deal? Like, I thought there was going to be something monstrous. That is the big deal. That is the big deal, the way how I see it. Okay, now there are different risks that are involved. However, in the past video, I explained how that auto compounding is insane when it comes to rewards and numbers at the end of the day. That's kind of what like Wonderland is experimenting with, gamification in other ways. I have to do more research on it, but one thing that's really cool is the longer you hold your MEMO, your memories, the more time that you can retrieve or get. But if you're getting even rewards on the Grim Finance side, because you got the stake token, right? But if you can get rewarded and get more rewards, more MEMOs, just by giving it to Grim Finance, you're auto compounding. It's just like So perhaps my math isn't the greatest, but at the rates right now, I believe Grim Finance is found a way to get 0.12% APR every day. Translation: if I have 1,000 memories, which is insane, but let's just say I have 1,000 memories for even numbers, I would get 12 back every single day that's auto compounded. So even as time progresses, my balance would be like 1,012, 1,024, and then eventually, like, even the interest rate that I get back every single day wouldn't just be 12, it'd be like 13, 14, and just keep growing. So what does that mean? I think from a math standpoint, I can substitute it and say, instead of just staking it and getting 1.5% APR every day, by giving it to Grim Finance, I think I'm pushing out an extra 0.12% APR, which is a 10% increase. So if you would want to leverage over here with Abracadabra money, I think the max you can push is maybe 25%, and you're at risk of losing it all if the price drops or anything, okay? However, with Grim Finance, I don't think that you're going to get you're not going to get like liquidated, but there are other risks, meaning the smart contract risk because you're depending on other projects to make sure they don't have a mess up, that they don't do a rug pull, that nothing bad happens, etc. So that is where probably the risk gets migrated to. There probably is other risks, so please, please, please always do your own research, and I'll go over the different projects that it relies on and how I'm calculating for it. However, I prefer it this way because then, man, I don't have to have my notifications on in case, price is dipping and I'm like, oh no, I could get liquidated, which liquidated means they sell your stuff instantly. And that's what they do on the Abracadabra side. So a lot of stuff is really cool when it comes to like borrowing against your stake tokens or your LP tokens. That's really cool, and they got a lot more coming down the pipe. And it's really great when it's like a more stable price, doesn't fluctuate as much, so then you don't have to worry about liquidation. Time, on the other hand, when you got this auto compounding rewards and people get a lot of these tokens and can dump, and auto selling, that can give you a heart attack. Maybe you gotta have a notification on your phone. However, this way it's just like I feel better in the sense of I don't have to worry about the price because I just know I'm getting more tokens. Hopefully, I think this works out way better in a bull run naturally, because if it's in a bear market, then you may have to come up with a different strategy. However, this is my strategy, so this is what I'm doing. So yeah. Let's go into a little bit more detail. So to explain the diagram a little bit more, so if I'm just having the stake tokens, I hold on to it just like I'm saying, like, okay, I'm not giving this token to nobody else, no other project. This stays in my wallet. Well, in addition, you don't have to like whip out your hardware wallet. Well, if you're on a MetaMask wallet and a hot wallet, you're at a risk for I don't know, losing those funds by like a lot of different ways. So that's why they say having having all your funds on a hot wallet is a risk. But if you have a ledger or like a hardware wallet, then that way it's much more difficult to get those funds stolen. I mean, there's plenty of other ways. I'm sure people can mess up, and I don't want people coming back like, hey, you said no. Just understand that from a security standpoint, it's also nice to just send it to the hardware wallet, deposit it, and then just walk away and be chill, as opposed to like every day having to manually auto compound. And oh man, there's math. You know what? I'm going down too far. I'm gonna do the overview. Let's get through this, and then I'll go into more details. Yeah. Okay. So I can hold on to my wMEMO, and it'll auto stake. I hold on to it. Cool. And then eventually, when I'm done, ready to sell, I sell. Yeah. However, what if I want to do something a little bit extra? Because I got these tokens chilling on my wallet. I go over to Grim Finance on the Fantom side, and this is where I started to play around with auto compounding, right? With time, it's amazing because 1.5% APR is insane. It's insane. You got 1,000, then it becomes like 1,010, or 1,015, something of that nature. And then it's just every day, just ramps up, and I'll show a diagram on how the APY just goes insane if you're auto compounding. That's what Grim Finance does, because I calculate like gas fees and other stuff. Even if it's on the Fantom side, you don't think that's much, it's doing a lot. And when you give it to them, as of right now, it's going to be 0.12% APR. So that's 10% increase than just me holding it, which is great. However, be aware that when you deposit, it's a 2% fee as of right now. And that's not because Grim Finance is taking it. It's based on the project that they found that does the rewards and how they do that. So they do take a 2% fee. Keep that in mind. I think there's also a 0.1% fee to withdraw. So altogether, just calculate 2.1%, hey, done. So maybe you gotta chill for about 2 weeks to break even, but then after that, everything is Gucci. So that is my main strategy. Okay, so let's talk about already talked about the disclaimer, but let's talk more about Grim Finance. Yeah, so Grim Finance on the Fantom side, man, Fantom Alerts, awesome resource. The dude goes into detail about the projects, and man, he has so many videos where he talks about all the Fantom projects coming out, getting stuff verified, etc. And he's kind of like the main go-to person when you want to know about Fantom. Is Fantom Alerts. Austin does it. Great job. Check out his channel. I'll leave links in the description. And on his Discord, Grim Finance was verified. So meaning, sometimes you worry if a project's legit or not. So it gives me an extra sense of security knowing that it's been verified. And I think they even got called out by the Fantom Foundation, which is also great in and of itself. So let's talk about APR. So Wonderland, this deals with DeFi 2.0, more of the Danny side, which is really cool, and I think that they're connecting so many different projects together, and Wonderland is going to be one of those. So anyways, this is where on the Avalanche side you would come in, stake your time, and then every 8 hours you get 0.57% of your more tokens. That's crazy. Just crunch the numbers. I mean, if you were to go to a bank, you wouldn't even get that in 1 year. And then this way you get every 8 hours auto compounding. You just walk away. Amazing. Now again, you have to think about price and how that happens, because you may be happy with so many tokens, but there could be a whale that got way more and that can always dump, take out the price, and then there's liquidations, and then it's a chain effect. And what if there's a major drop in the crypto market? And oh my goodness. So that's why that's why I don't want to deal with the liquidation side and borrowing. Maybe I'd borrow against other things, but not for my time tokens. But it's just a cool concept in DeFi 2.0. Anyways, okay, so then you come here. So this is how it looks like on the Grim Finance side. Yeah, so then you got your wrapped memories. Yeah, and then what you do is you will approve it. Very cheap gas fee. I mean, the cheapest gas fee, especially if you're thinking about Ethereum side. Whew. And then here is where some things to note. Number one, your deposit fee that I talked about, 2%, goes to the program or the project Morpheus. So I'll go into that later, and also that 0.1% withdrawal fee. And then this is where I'm looking at the daily percentage. So they just came out with this. I was waiting. In fact, last night I was on their Telegram like, you guys gonna do this? Because I see that you found a way to do single staking stuff, and if you're using Morpheus, they got wMEMO, so what about you guys? And they got it. So I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I was dropping some alpha on that Twitter last night. Anyway, so 0.12% daily. So back to my math equation, right? So I'm just calculating, hey, not only are you getting 1.5% every day, because 0.5% times 3 is 1.5% roughly per day, plus Grim is giving 0.12%. So that's a 10% increase roughly. Dang. So that is amazing. In addition, I got to talk about risks. So I talked about how maybe you may not get liquidated and you're not leveraging. However, on my Twitter, CardToy123, which his handle ironically is CardToy321, thank you, because he gave me a great reply stating, hey, be careful, because the more contracts you do, the more risk that there is. That is one major thing to consider. So, if something happens, the way how I'm interpreting it is, if something happens with Avalanche and that thing tanks, well, that's a major issue, because your funds probably gone, or it's gonna, it's at risk. Time, the DeFi 2.0 project that we're talking about with the MEMO, etc. If something happens wrong, a hack, something, you never know. There's different things. Boom, gone. Fantom, so Avalanche, layer 1, what if something happens there? Fantom, what if something happens there as well? Grim Finance, even though they're verified, hey, you never know. Something could always happen. Knock on wood. Hopefully no hacks, no nothing. And MORPH, which Morpheus Swap, I think it's Morpheus Swap. Maybe it's just Morpheus. So I don't think that's even been verified yet. So that's where it's even extra riskier. So you got so many layers of projects, and if one fails, then done. So that is the mitigated risk, or that's the transferred of risk. So as opposed to liquidation, smart contract risk. So I'm willing to play with that, but again, keep in mind that that is a big thing, because have they been battle tested? You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we got here. So let me pull up. Let's see here. So playing with numbers. Let's just say APY. So on the Wonderland side, in their documentation, they show the power of auto compounding. So I'm going to do another video later on talking about the power of auto compounding and why I like Grim Finance for that reason. Because oh my goodness, does that numbers add up? Because when I have to manually compound my stuff, like let's say I stake something, I get rewards, and I put it back in, I have to pay a gas fee. I do it maybe once a day, and especially if I'm dealing with a smaller bag, it's just not worth it. However, I think Grim Finance, what they do is that they'll auto compound it, and they do it very frequently, and they would take a percentage of the extra rewards that you would get. Like they take 4%, I don't know, to pay their stakeholders. You can look at it more, but regardless, hey, I'm making a lot more than I would if I would have to manually compound it and pay the gas fee. So I looked at Morpheus. I was like, okay, can I manually do this? No, Grim Finance just does it. You know, I would I imagine it as to being owning a rental property, right? I mean, I could go there and talk to the tenants and search. It's like I'm willing to give up a certain percentage just for a different company to take care of that stuff for me. Now, I don't have any rental properties, but I imagine that's what I can equate it to, right? So, power of APR, auto compounding, boom. So at the beginning, probably doesn't make that much of a difference. APR, APY. APY is just like, hey, if you were to like auto reinvest everything, what are you going to get at the very end? As opposed to APR saying, hey, you get the rewards, but you go spend it on something else. Like you always buy yourself a chocolate ice cream and you never reinvest. Okay, so this is APY showing that there's a major difference, especially at the end, especially at this tail end. So if you can bump this up even like 10% at the very beginning, boom, it does make a drastic difference, especially as time progresses. Yeah, so that is what I wanted to show. In addition, 10% does make a huge difference, especially at the APY at the end. So this is only on the daily, right? Grim Finance, they're doing it a lot more frequently than just once a day. Yeah. So right now the APR, if I said, I don't know, 10,000, which in Wonderland they're giving 54,000% APY. But this is just to give an example. So let's say I had 10,000, right? And I bump this down to, let's say, half of that. We make it be about, my apologies, 4.9. Look at this. There's a difference in, what, 70% APR? A difference of 70% APR, APY. Redo. I don't do edits. So by changing the APR down by 70%, it literally tanked my APY by half. Meaning, give 70% more APR, this APY doubled. And this is just for the daily. Yeah. So the numbers changed drastically, but the conclusion, short story, you bump this bad boy up by even 10%. So we go from 5,000%, and I'm gonna bump this up, let's say, to be, you know, like 41. Boom. You can see the major impact on the APY. Now, do I think this is going to be sustainable for a year? Probably not. Hell no. I'm going to be like calculating when I want to, you know, take out my funds or just say, okay, this is now house money. I can just walk away knowing whatever happens, I don't care, because that's probably going to be my strategy. It's like put my money in, hopefully it doubles, and when it doubles, I pull out half, and then it's like the rest is just house money. Whatever happens, just auto compound for as long as you like. Have fun, chill. This is amazing. Let's see where this goes. So taking a look at Morpheus Swap. Okay, so this is on the Fantom side. They give some pretty juicy rewards. Again, I can't necessarily state about the project. I haven't researched it. I don't know, you know, what are the risks involved with this project. I'm just looking at it from the reward standpoint. And Grim Finance looks at all the different projects and says, ooh, we can work with this, or this is the rewards that you can get if you do it that way. So when I came over here, I saw, whoa, I can single stake my wrap memories and get 44% APR. Hey, that's pretty cool. But again, that does not compare to the fact that Grim Finance auto compounds. I don't have to worry about gas fees or the time. So in conclusion, let's whip out this guy again. Yeah. So I could, in essence, be on the Wonderland side and have MEMO or memories and just allow this to auto compound my time. However, if I buy this thing on the Fantom side, it's the same thing as if I'd be on the Avalanche side. But I buy it on the Fantom side, dip this bad boy into Grim Finance, I'm getting an extra 10% boost in my APR. And if you don't think APR and auto compounding is really that important, well, let me tell you. Take a look at this. It do make a difference. I'll see you guys in the next video. Pieces.